And welcome back, and I hope you had a quick short break here. And this is part two of the drawing that we started in part one on the Ferdouse channel, YouTube channel. And this is now the Paintology YouTube channel. So hopefully you managed to come here. If not, you can let me know and I'll make the description more clearer. So the link is available in the description from the original part one drawing. And also the links are available on the page that I showed you earlier, paintology.com. Let me show you again quickly. This is the actual page, and you get to that page from paintology.com, and then this button, daily step-by-step video tutorial. And then you'll see here, 20, go to the 23rd of October, which is today, and the image link is the reference image of the horse, part one in the Ferdouse channel, part two Paintology stream. Yeah, so now you should be on the Paintology stream, and we're going to finish this horse. So hopefully you've got to this point. It could be a little different to mine, obviously, but the whole idea is that you're learning and you're developing art techniques. Remember, this Paintology is very different to other drawing apps which emphasizes tools rather than techniques, art techniques, which is what this is all about. It's the reason the art techniques allows you to make more impressive drawings than just typically using tools, digital tools, which the emphasis on majority of the drawing applications is all about. And hence a lot of beginners seem to learn and demand more of tools rather than developing the important skills of our techniques. So you've seen here as I made this drawing, I didn't encroach upon anything more than just the line brush, and I haven't even gone to any other brush, just the line brush, and using zoom and adjusting the brush size, and that's it. That's pretty much it. And then using this reference, all important reference image, to be able to pick out these tones that I've put in this drawing, which I did in about half an hour, and pick up these beautiful tones that are vary, and to show you that tones are what majority of the drawings and majority of the artwork is all about, art techniques. And you'll see many artists throughout the YouTube talk about tones if they want to teach you about art, good art or drawing. And tones is something that we do through Paintology using block coloring. So remember, Paintology is not to give you an array of tools so you can go ahead and start doodling and using the tools until the cow comes home or something. It's really to develop your inherent skills, the very skills that make someone a good artist to someone who's just beginning. So just keep that in mind here. So let's look at this. This is something I did, the block coloring, and how are we going to diffuse that background? You'll be fairly impressed with how I do this, and it's done very easily. So we switch to the shade brush here. Can you see these are all the brushes available? So we switch to shade, and I'm going to take it up 10%, let's say. And then this is all I do. I pick the color picker here, and I pick this dark tone that I'm going to blend. This area, the sharp edges you can see here, all the way around here. Yeah, I'm going to blend that. So let's just go and do a swirling round strokes. See here? Look how it's quickly the sharp edges now blended out. So much quicker, isn't that amazing? Right. And then similarly, we can go to this edge at the top, just do swirling strokes. Oops, not a little bit. And then you can see how they diffuse so quickly, beautifully in the background. And then we can take this color and blend it into that darker region. And similarly, we can push that region back. And then we can take this color and then go to the next region. Look how wonderfully, and you'll be shocked to see how the horse pops out because of this. So nice to see, you know, I never get tired of this. Okay, and then pick this tone and just look how quickly that is done. No blending tools, just using the shade. I have to thank my daughter for this. She's the one who came across this shading. She's really good in shading. She's probably going to overtake me soon. She's 9, by the way. But her mind is on coding, and that's what I'm going to teach her. So she can't wait until she hops into the super excited shoes, I could tell. So, you know, just go here. Look what happens if I increase the brush size, yeah? I could get a much broader color. See that? Wonderful. Gives it a little bit more, like, more diffused, yeah? Look at the wonderful tones. How that is done so easily. Look how we're going to blend this. It's so easy. It's like such an easy process that it just makes you wonder where this application was all these years. See there, look how the horse is now popping out. Look at these colors here, these bold colors. They're like diffuse at the same level. They're actually bold into the same level as the horse, and now we're diffusing it to the background and making this horse really pop out. I'm not really worried about how it looks on the background, because our diffuse background can open up to many people's thinking what it could be. It could be the part of because it's green, it's part of a grassy land, something like that, isn't it? We don't really care because it's not the main focus, is it? But we'll capture some of these wonderful colors. So this is where you can get really creative. This is actually a creative process. You know, it's nothing. You can see how the horse is now really taking on primary focus here, the center stage. This is a setting you can find on your phone as well. It's called the portrait mode. And if you've been ever wondering what it is about, it's actually there for a good reason. It actually, when I was doing wedding photos of taking wedding photos of my nephew, I was using it a lot, and some of my images are much more admired than the photos taken by the professionals for that wedding. So it's always nice to know that, isn't it? Look at that. Just wonderful. Round, swirly strokes. That's all I'm doing. Like a circular strokes. That's all I'm doing here. Actually, I came across this technique when I was doing a leopard drawing. A leopard that was sitting on a tree. That's like a week or two back. You can find it in that page I showed you, and the live stream is available for you to watch. I'm not doing anything. I'm not. I'm more of a person that likes doing than talking too much. You know, many artists talk a lot about something but do little because they know the main majority of the audience are not going to do any drawing themselves. But I'm doing a lot of doing here because I'm hoping you've come here to learn and draw as well, just with your phone. So just keep that in mind, that don't compare me at the same token as others, you know, because I've seen quite few people talk about art, and most of the time they really just tries to be amusing. But I'm here to do. You can make so many shapes if you so want. Look how the horse is now popped out like anyone's business. I think the background's done, so I'm gonna do what my developer has told me because I'm working on pick. Oops, this is a community, by the way. You can find a lot of people's artwork here. Yeah, so you can join the community. So let's go here and pick up that drawing that we were doing. Look at that. Look how it's not. It doesn't really compare to a thing. If you wanted to, you can make the same background by comparing the reference image. And remember, don't have to keep using the slider. You can click on the button, and then it will take you from the full image, reference image, to your drawing. This is a drawing we've done. This is it. Look at that. So now I'm going to show you blending and blending with the line tool. So we've got the line brush. Let me take a quick sip of my drink. So I think it's a really good time to show you some blending using the line brush. So I'm just going to switch back to the line brush. We've taken care of the background, so let's switch back to the line brush. And now I'm going to show you what this density is all about. So I think it's really good for me to introduce you to that. So let's take a look at this horse's wonderful neck. See that? Now, notice that blending would be nice. We could go on blending with the shade, but we wouldn't necessarily we wouldn't necessarily capture the textures that we want. And textures come from drawing skills. So what I'm going to do is I'm looking at this, and then I'm going to see what I'm going to create the texture and the gradient tones here. And you can do you can do the hyperrealism and go really low and just keep doing it. That's uninteresting, and I don't think you want to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this density and take this brush size to 40%. What that effectively means is that if you're at 100%, you can achieve this tone here, that line that is showing here. You can achieve that tone at 100%. And then if you go over it again, you won't be able to achieve any other tone except that tone. So think of it like an ink. Now, if you go to 50%, you have a tone that is a little subdued in that tone. And what that means is that as you continue to go over it again and again, you will eventually come here to this tonal color. So this is really powerful. It behaves like a pencil. Think of a pencil. You go over it again and again, and artists will do that, and then they will build up the tone. And with HB pencil, but if they want darker, they'll do it with 6B pencils or 12B, any gradient pencil. So this is actually a form of drawing using a pencil, but in my opinion, it's far more powerful and versatile because you have 100 degrees of pencils here all the way down. If you started with this tone, It'll take you maybe 100 strokes to achieve that. I haven't tested it, but it will. But so I'm keeping it 40% just to show you, demonstrate this. So let's look at this area here that we want to, and then I'm going to pick a brush size. Let's say I'm going to pick 5%, argument's sake. And then I'm going to pick this tone that's happening here. And I'm just going to go down and create this. You see that? See what it did here? And then I'm going to pick this light tone here. And then here. See that? See what it did? Just created a kind of a tonal effect. But then I think I'm looking at the brush and I need to reduce it even more. And then to have more control, I'll take it down to 30%. Okay, so what would I do here? Notice the tones. This is where you increase your understanding of tones. See that? This is increasing. So I'm using a crisscross drawing strokes, and I might need to increase that. That was a little too low. Right, and then here, I've got this darker tone here, and then I can build up this tone here, but still producing that texture. This is actually the way I create photorealistic drawings. I'm able to do this because I have good mastery of just these tools alone. I don't need special tools to make me draw well. I just need to know how to use a couple of tools, and away I go. Look, it's darker here. Right, so I'm going to show you this. Right, and then you'll see how it works. Darker here. I want to continue this. See the brush? I'm using a fairly big brush size. I could probably reduce it a bit more. 2%, okay? And then let's get this. Capture this. We captured this with the thick brush earlier. And now we're going to look at this beautiful, just drawing strokes. That's all I'm doing. Drawing strokes here. See that? Yeah, and then capturing the texture at the same time. And then here I'm saying texture. And then these dark strokes here. That's all I'm doing. And then here, capturing, taking the colors from the reference image. Just using the strokes to clear that. Look at that there. Here, pick these colors. Here, this is the illusion of detail I was also telling you about. And remember, you're asking me, well, he's not talking about the drawing process, but I'll tell you what the drawing process is. Just give me a little bit more time, and then as I finish doing this, because I'm showing you something that's important that's popped into this while I've been doing this drawing. I I don't always just show you the same thing again and again. You'll notice that I sometimes vary it with my own. Okay, there. Creating this. Let's do this. Let's finish this. Yeah. And then I'm going to show you what I mean. Let's increase that to 48%. Because I wanted to achieve it quickly. I don't want to spend too much time. So this is now, I'm not doing block coloring. I'm actually drawing. Right? I'm actually drawing and trying to create these tones and textures, use drawing techniques, because I've got the, so remember, I'm not using a brush or anything. I'm using the same brush but creating techniques, so you'll be able to see for yourself that just a little bit of a drawing coupled with the block coloring, you'll be creating. Look at the darker tones here, always increasing, keeping aware of the tones and values you're creating. Look at that. There's not a rigid, just like the background, it's not rigid, but I can diffuse that. Yeah, look what we have here. Right, and then you'll be able to see for yourself how this is just a technique. I'm not showing you anything unique. It's actually very similar to how people would draw in the traditional world. So because I'm quite good in the traditional, I can bring you these techniques. Right. Okay. See, creating textures. Textures are not about brushes. Textures are what you create. Do you think they've Do you think artists just go from one tool to another to get the textures? No, they've learned to master the tools that create the textures. See that here? Look at this wonderful color. So we can do the same thing. Look at these beautiful tones that are appearing. The horse, right? Just subtle tones. And the eyes will make out these wonderful tones that are happening here. You can see it. So this is where your drawing experience comes into play. And that there. That's all I'm doing. I'm using a different technique. That's a bit darker there. And let's see what we have here. And this horse now looks, rather than blocky, looks wonderful, isn't it? So how we've improved that using this, and we can continuously do that to build up. You can see here, there, you can see there, these colors, I haven't come into it there. We improve that doing that, see? And then here, got this lovely tone. And I can take that down. And then we've got this dark tone here. That's all it is. And then we can keep working on it. So we can keep working on it and improving it. And you'll see how I keep improving on it. And that really brings me to the very, very important point of the drawing process. So think about it, how we got here, right? It was through steps. It looked very organic, natural, but it is critical to the whole drawing process. It's the reason why I don't dive into tools, because beginners are not aware of techniques. They're not aware of essentially learning the art techniques with the minimum of tools. They just want one tool after another to do everything for them, and they're not allowing their mind to think or understand what the drawing process is about. So the drawing process means that I would not know, had I not reached this level or this stage in my drawing, I would not know I would have not I would not have a good understanding of what the next step is. That's the drawing process. Drawing process is anything that goes from zero all the way to the finished drawing. Doesn't matter what art medium, any drawing, anything that you create from zero all the way to the final art piece. And my goal is, because I understand the drawing process, I can take this all the way to the finished art piece using the skill sets that I have developed. And this is the skills that you can learn. So block coloring got me to one step, step one, and then you could call it step one, block coloring, and then using a smaller brush got me to step 2 using the zoom. Step 3, I'm doing this sort of drawing mechanism in order to create blending. Well, step 3 actually was the diffusing the background, and then that drawing process is the steps that you take to finish drawing. Most beginners will hover around step 1 and be clueless as to how to go to the next level because they haven't done it. And that's the whole reason why I'm showing you this, is that you go further up the steps in order to get to the drawings that I've shown you earlier, which is all the way to the finish. You may think it's not finished. You may want to continue and improve on it. That's when you bring in more of your art skills and techniques to bear, right? And you make the whole drawing look quite good. Yeah. So my idea is that I'm here, right? And I wouldn't know if I was here, obviously, if I started with a blank canvas. And I'm here, and I'm going to go to the next step. What is the next step? The next step would be improving some of the features that look a little bit, that it actually tells you how to get to that step. If you had not come here, you would not be able to go to the next step. That's the reason why most people do the first 1 or 2 steps and throw their arms up in there, and they will never get anywhere beyond that because they choose not to learn the next step in the process. So what is the next step in the process? I can see I need to do improvements here. There's a nice banding. Look at this area here. Focus on this area here. I'm gonna actually go up here. Focus on this area here. See? I know what to do to improve that, to make that strap a bit more distinct, right? And look, here as well, the strap has to be more distinct. So I can work on that, right? And then I can see lots of other areas which doesn't worry me at the moment, but that's my take. And it's the reason why it's very difficult for an artist who you enjoy or follow in their drawing, that they're not able to show you their unique style. So you might love watching it, but you're never gonna, you will have very difficult in following their techniques because it's unique to them. But with Paintology, hopefully, you will know how I'm doing it. You've seen me operate the density, you've seen me that, and you've got the same app and a similar phone, right, to what I have. It doesn't have to be exactly mine. So I'm going to go here, and I've shown you, right? I'm going to go here, and then I'm going to improve this part. So to improve that part, this is what I do. This is actually taking you a little further than what you may be experienced with. But I'm going to switch, just like I did, switch between this, pick a brush size, which is okay. And then I'm going to keep to 100% because I want that boldness. Look at how bold that strap is. So I want that boldness, and I'm going to keep that density there. And then I'm going to do, I'm going to use halfway if you feel like you're not too comfortable in doing the complete drawing, or you can use, switch back and forth between, like I'm going to show you just for a few seconds, back and forth, do the other little turns, right? I'm gonna, yeah, see how I'm doing that? See that there? Okay. So, because of based on my experience, which you don't have, I can see that this ink color is not required. So I'm going to bring this down to 60%. So still achieve a type of a blending here. Let me show you what I mean. You see, I can go over it again and create darker tone to give this hair that's growing here, right, on the horse's head. And then I can pick these tones and just go over it just like a pencil. There. So now I can do the same thing. See how I can go over it again, right? This is still quite a high density in my opinion, but that comes with experience. I'm not going to be able to teach you everything unless you give it a try yourself. I'm going to reduce that to and show you how this strap can be created to the same degree, that we want with the tones using this density setting, okay? And then it will look pretty good, if not reasonably big, good, right there. See, we probably we need to do that. And then just let's fill the colors, use this midway point just to get some of the colors. So if you're not feeling comfortable in drawing freehand, which is what the idea of this is, just go midway, click on the button, and then just do your drawing here, and then go back to the midway so you still have the reference image available for you to look at. Okay, there, and then here, see, you can get all these lovely dark tones that make up that strap. So easy, you'll be like surprised. And look at this tone. I'm going to go really down here, and then I'm going to go to the, and then just make that, just give that impression there. And then you can see the difference it makes. Look at that, that almost looks like a strap. It maybe looks like almost like a strap, doesn't it? Yeah, compare that to ours. Right, that's not bad for what we did. Same thing, we're going to do the same thing here. That's what I want you to do. Right, go here, and since we've still got that tiny brush, we could go create that right there, and then get the brush size of that, which may be a little there. You can see it, and then get the brush size. I'm flicking between, and then you don't have to, you can use the reference image, right? But I'm doing that because I have experience of doing that. Yeah, I'm sure you can see what I'm trying to achieve here. So we made that, and now we can do this very light color. It's really wonderful color. See that? Oops, sorry, that's my daughter. If you're not getting the color, change it in your palette. And then so I'm taking it up again now. You can see here, because now I know I need a little broader brush to be able to do these tiny little tones. It's all about tonal colors. And remember, I've got it at halfway of the density settings. So I've got a 2% brush I've worked again. Again, you can see these lovely tones. Try and capture these tones. Right, while you're there with this brush. Try and capture all these tones like that. That's essentially what drawing is all about. You've now learned some of the very important skills of applying these tones to this horse. Here, look what we've got. Here we've got a little bit, and then we've got this, this dark tone that we couldn't have captured earlier, but we can do it now. Yeah. Then you can go over all of it and capture these textures. This all it is. Textures come about through the tonal, nothing more. Okay, there. So you got this dark tone, you see here. Wow, that's very dark. But anyway, let's have a look what we have here. That's our, you see how that is looking so much more three-dimensional, isn't it? Right? And you can go on like this. But because of the limited time, you know, I can only show you so much, obviously, but the whole aim is to finish this drawing. So if you don't mind me shutting up, I'm just gonna go ahead and finish this drawing in record time because I don't want to carry on. I don't want to be able to like say, oh, I'm going to finish this drawing at another time. So just watch while I finish this and talk a little. Occasionally I might butt in and talk to you, but just watch the rest of the 25 minutes while I take a quick break. Okay? So just join me in a few minutes. Thanks. Hello there, and welcome back. So, as you can see, this is the drawing that we have right now. And as I've said earlier, I hope you've had your short break or you're continuing to draw because this is way too exciting to, take any break. So, what I'm going to do now is I want you to watch how I apply all these techniques to this drawing. And I'm going to make sure that I have the new image saved. Okay. And so I'm not going to say much, although I can't help it if I open my mouth in the middle somewhere, just to show what I'm trying to do. So I'm going to go ahead and really work at speed in the next 20 minutes so you can see how I draw and how I apply these techniques really rapidly. So I'm not teaching you as such. You just watch and then you can repeat, you can rewind and see how I did some of the features to make this horse go from here reasonably about here, isn't it? Oh, I can see some areas that I have not. Oh, interesting. Fascinating. I haven't got the belly. Notice that. But that's fine. Maybe I'll just do the horse and not the belly. That's less work for me, right? So I like that. So just watch and how I do go ahead. So here goes. I'm going to just do what I think will be. I'm going to use a combination of what I've shown you. Just opening it again because I need to You might have seen me increase the density here. It's because this particular set of drawing is harsh. What I mean by harsh is that it's solid. It's not as soft as the skin of the horse, and therefore I increase the density. See, there's always a reason doing things. And look at the details we can capture. This is what allows you to make photorealistic drawings. See, right now I'm taking advantage of but I'm really going fast just to show you, because this drawing requires these harsh tones. Yeah, that's the word I wanted to use, the harsh tones that I'm trying to replicate because of the stirrup. And you'll see it makes a big difference. When we get there, it's a little bit. Look at the details of that. How I captured that so rapidly. Because when you understand techniques, look, am I diving into tools? No, I'm not. Oh. You just have to know what you're using. It's the reason why there are good artists. It's the reason why they're good, and it's not down to, because you could do the same. You couldn't just simply rewind and watch me do this again. It's not magic. Look how it's running across this little. Make sure you get the right tone. Running across. That's the beauty of the references, that you can really get into the details without, and then learn these techniques that you can apply to your own freehand. Because I've got experience of this, I'm doing it really fast. I have an idea of what to use. Let's get these beautiful white tones, just resembling it. The illusion of detail. Let's fix this. Look at that, it's a mishmash, but it will still be a mishmash of colors. Believe me, it won't be a perfect buckle. It'll still be a mishmash. And many of you have heard when I say mishmash, basically means that when you do something close up, Oh, you can get that reference here. You could just use this, what I'm doing now. Yes, that's just perfectly fine because you're beginning. And then as you can switch, get the tone here. So this is really fine arts to a level that you've probably not seen before in digital. And this is what really gets traditional artists excited about, to draw like this. But it's a shame that the digital world is just so enamored with tools. Look at these lovely, luscious colors that are popping out. So I'm keeping it to this just to show you that I can freely use this, but when it comes to freehand, I don't have that capability. Right? No, so I could go back and forth and apply these lovely tones, this level of detail. So how are we doing? I wonder for time. I think. See, the bigger brush we used didn't quite work, but we can still capture the essence of the tones. And I can go here and just fix the tones, right? Pick the color picker, just refine the shape. Going really rapidly. Let's look at that stirrup. It's so almost realistic, isn't it? And it's also because the focus is on those shapes that we did, it almost makes the whole thing look. But then I'm going to show you at the end. Oh, we've gone past our hour, so I'm going to actually speed up here again. Let's fix this here, since we've got a tiny brush. Wow, it's so small. I think I rarely use this tiny brush for demo, but color picker. No skills. It's just understanding what to do. And then just doing it until you get better and better and faster. That's all it is. You're trying to develop speed over anything else. Not too much, don't do. There, I've got that lovely white that we can shape. Alright, to give the impression of the buckle. Okay, now what we're going to do, you can see over the head there, and get this lovely tone. So remember, we're quite high up. I'm going to take it down to 40%. And you may think, well, why the hell is he doing that? If you're going to ask these questions without you practicing, then you really need to keep practicing more, then the answers will come to you. Just picking these tones and increase that. Just get the dark tones. Look at that, with small satchel. We can take advantage and do our own. Doesn't have to be exactly. Ooh, that's too harsh. So I'm not going to explain why am I doing this, but you'll see the effect I'm trying to create, that's all. I'm doing it because I want to create that effect, not because I need to do it like this. See that effect that I created? Okay, and then here you can see a bit more using the bigger brush to blend this region. Anywhere you see like sharp, prolonged, and it's not right there, just blend it out. Look at this area here. Capture this. Oh, it looks a bit better now, I think. That part, I might improve on this. The bottom. With a bigger brush. Adding more depth. At the same time creating texture, shape, form. All the qualities of what artists would like to talk about, especially teachers. That's all it is. Got a little bit of a neckline here. That should go up a little bit. Okay. So we've got that stirrup, and now you can see it's looking already pretty good. And now you can see here, see that? It's lovely sort of a color. Let's take it down. Get that color that's going right above there. See that? There. Doesn't matter if it's not quite there yet. And then you can see that's the, see that there, and then what we can do is take these colors and just work our way back, refine this edge. I don't think it's got an Adam's apple, is it? Let's So I think this is looking quite good, and then we could go on and on, but you can see what was done here. Take this all the way down and then just blend this here. See, we can blend even with the line brush, right? So I think the stirrup here is looking quite good, and then we can increase we can go and shade some of the areas and blend it in right with that brush, so it gives it the illusion that it is blended. Even with this we can blend it, and if you see the original right there, you can see that there's colors here that you could blend it out slowly. There's such a low brush density setting, you see here. This is what happens when you have these tools here. So I think I can see from the eyes that the horse is looking a little sad. Don't know why. Or probably looking, I can say here, can you see it? We need. So that's way too small, so increase that. And let's get this horse details, the eyes. Yeah, because that's usually the focal point. It's got some of the eyebrows. Well, everything has an eyebrow in it. Then we have that beautiful. See, I'm refining the shape here now to look like the horse that we see how the eyes improved. Such minimal effect. So let's see if we've got the mouth. So each step I'm trying to improve the drawing. Each step. Did we get that right? Yeah, it's sort of, more or less, I think. I've got a very small brush. So keep that in mind. And then look at this area. We haven't done the lower lip here, the lower mouth. Let's take that down. It's all a question of experience. Okay, so there you are, all finished, I think. So I hope you enjoyed this. We're 15 minutes over, and I wouldn't worry too much about it. And can you see that the other eye? Do you see how we missed that? There's so many things. As you get better and better, you're going to spot these. Look at that. The other ears, right? No. Here. And look here. Even though it's very distracted, but still it's there. So we need to put that in there. Right there. You can go on detail after detail. So that's where we are on that horse. I think you did a good job. We learned a few things on tonal, creating the shape. So it's reference images, wonderful tool using the trace to improve those drawing techniques. Now you can probably see how I can go about doing photorealistic drawing because I have those skills under my belt, and you too can. So freehand drawing becomes so much easier, so much faster, because you've got now embody the skills to make drawings like this from reference image to your drawing. You can see here. So I'm going to sign this and call it a day. So I hope you've enjoyed this as much as I hope you've also made these drawings. If you have, please post them. And until tomorrow for another session of drawing, and hope to see you then. Please do comment and please do subscribe and like if you enjoying these tutorials, so I can keep bringing them to you. If not, I may have to stop soon and do something else, because I need to have traction of users, obviously, to keep this going, provided it's free, no charge. So while that's the case, take advantage of it, full advantage while you can. And you're probably the early adopters of what I'm doing, and hopefully you can take that and run with it. So I hope to see you again soon and come with another great tutorial. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.